Hey, good morning, you guys. Happy Saturday. Welcome to episode 12. Can you believe it's episode 12 already of the First and 10 NFL New York Jets podcast? How you doing this morning, brother?
I'm doing good. I can't believe 12 weeks, 12 episodes. And that's not even including the little mini episodes we did. So
Time flies when you're having
yes.
fun, right?
Yep.
Hell
99
yeah.
days to opening day, something like that, right? 100 days,
Yeah,
99
yeah. Can you?
days.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Wow.
I can't wait.
I know. I know.
I got to start off this morning with something pretty funny.
Okay.
Okay. I went on early this morning to get the updated research and everything from yesterday, so I'd be on top of things. What the hell do you think is the first thing I see when I type in New York Jets? Are the New York Jets cursed?
Who said that one?
I'm like, are you kidding me? And it goes on to say, it's hard to dispute that the New York Jets are cursed. They have been unlucky so many times, have so many draft blunders, and have been so close to reaching the Super Bowl for the second time. It's inevitable that they are cursed.
You think someone's listening to the show? You know?
Could be. Yeah. Could be. I mean, that was the first damn thing I saw this morning.
Hey, it was kind of like the 6 degrees of Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Hey, if you're listening, thank you. It's okay to like and subscribe. We're good with that.
Oh, man. So what else? I saw some notes this morning from the OTA'S last week.
Okay.
In one breath, they said Herndon was looking good again. And then in the next breath, I read that during the OTA'S last week, he had a perfect pass right in his hands, a brutal drop again by him. And I mean, it's not like you got pressing defenders, you know. Yeah. This is practice. Another brutal drop by him that led to an INT. So, okay. I mean, what are we going to get with this guy? And I mean, the only other tight ends I know of are the Tyler Croft that they got from Buffalo. Mm-hmm. Last year, 12 passes, 3 touchdowns. Okay. And Ryan Griffin, who's coming back again this year.
Okay. We can definitely go over the depth chart later. I agree with you, but also to quote Allen Iverson, it's practice. Like every article I seem to be reading is making this team look like a bunch of golden boys.
The next coming.
Yeah, everything's turning up roses. The only thing I've heard on a bad front is that the backup quarterbacks are terrible.
Of course they are.
But like when when I'm hearing stories that Braxton Berrios, all he is 24/7. They're calling him 24/7.
Oh yeah.
First off, you know what? Let's wait to the season. Let's get through 10 or 11 games before we start calling him 24/7. Really? It's practice, like Allen Iverson said. Practice.
Yes. You know? I mean, the only thing I'll say about Berrios is he reminds me a little bit of Corbett.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it's his size. Maybe it's he's a tough little SOB.
Yeah.
But he don't catch like Wayne.
No. Who does?
Nobody. Nobody.
And I know I sent it to you, and I should have you posted on our site if possible. I thought it was we talked about being relevant and getting some love. And I have to give a shout out to Good Morning Football because they do a good job of keeping all 32 teams in the mix.
Yeah,
and I know
they do.
They film out in New York, so there might be a little bias, but I thought the story this week of the top 5, and this was Kyle Brandt. This wasn't done by the Football Nation or whatever. His top 5 wide receivers who never wear gloves. And one of them happens to be our man at number 3, Wayne Corbett. Now I got to tell you, when you hear the 5 on that list, to me, they're all tough guys. They all went over the middle. They all caught the ball. They all made acrobatic. I mean, you're talking about Tom Waddle at 5, Lynn Swann at 4, Corbett at 3, Tim Brown. And for me, as a kid, I loved watching him play when they played us. And I would go out in the backyard with my buddy and emulate him. Steve Largent.
Oh, man. Mr. Seahawk. Absolutely.
All 5 guys on those lists, when you hear them, never wore gloves, took crazy hits, weren't afraid to go over the middle. So it was a nice shout out to Good Morning Football
Oh,
representing those
absolutely.
5.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. Absolutely. And man,
and
they don't come much tougher than Little
no,
Wayne.
exactly. And you
Yeah.
wish this boy was more of a household name. And I'm hoping he becomes. I know he's retired now and whatever, but this leads you to believe that not that the Jets are cursed, or maybe they are, but that because they're not this organization that wins 8 out of 10 years, 7 out of 10 years, no one talks about them. And later in the show, I have a good Toon story, and I'm going to tell you some things and some numbers that your jaw's going to drop. Because my jaw dropped.
I can imagine. Yeah, man. Toon was a baller.
Yeah.
But again, just like Corbett.
Yeah. We'll get to some of these numbers and these storylines. I won't read the whole 4 pages, but I did highlight a good 50%, and I'll try to read them out real quick.
Just like Wayne, the concussions did him in.
Yeah. And Toon for that matter, because his numbers for his 8 years that he played were off the charts. And when I tell you his numbers in the first 4 years, and his numbers were better, and I won't give the receiver away now, we'll save it for when we hit it. His numbers was better than the best wide receiver that everyone thinks in the game ever.
Listen, there was a reason that every home game, when he caught a pass, the whole stadium went to.
Yeah.
And you see, reason.
This is what I love about doing these shows with you, because like I said, you've been to a ton more games than I have. That's exactly what they talked about in the article.
Really? Did they?
Exactly what they talked about. Every time he caught the ball or made a catch or a touchdown or whatever, the whole thing. So and that's one of the things I think I highlighted, and we'll go through this later, but let's touch up on some other things. I made a lot of notes this week. Something funny I thought was that Mark Sanchez had an interview with CBS. He's going to be calling games.
I saw that, Mr. CBS analyst.
Yes. And if he gets the position, I'm sure he'll be calling a few games, and he's going to be teamed up with Greg Gumbel.
Look at that.
So I thought that was interesting. Now, it's supposedly, I guess they're not renewing Rich Ganning's contract, so they brought in him and Alex Smith for an interview.
Honestly, Gannon annoyed the piss out of me.
I agree. Now, did he annoy you for the same reasons he annoyed me? Because he always seemed to knock our club?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Every
opportunity he had, he did.
Yeah.
Why?
No clue. Yeah. No clue. Here's what I don't get, and I guess maybe I like the fact that the reporters are neutral and it's not a hometown reporter, but I don't like it when it's a neutral reporter and he's gonna knock like he knows the situation, like he's here every day.
You're right.
This is why, as a Met fan, I don't watch the Mets when they're on ESPN, because I can't listen to those clowns who don't know about my team act like they know everything about that team.
Sometimes I can remember sometimes if Gannon was calling the game, like I'd turn the sound down.
Yeah.
Or I'd turn on the radio and listen to Lions.
Yeah.
And Wasujian call the game,
Yep. I do that when the Mets are on Sunday nights because I just can't. Something else I found is I got a few things. It's not going to take long. Pro Football Focus has our defense ranked what this year? Take a guess for the 2021 season. What does Pro Football Focus has the Jets defense ranking?
Is it in the top 10?
Yep, exactly.
I figured. I'm going to say, let's call it middle of the road. I'm going to say 4 or 5.
They didn't give a specific. They just said top 10, a chance
top
of
10. Yeah.
Now,
I figured.
Here's what worries me about the Roses. I feel like sometimes these reporters, they're all out to get us because they're going to build this hype, and we as Jet fans are going to get pumped.
See, they stink.
Yeah. And then our enemy teams are going to get like top 10. We'll show them. And then when we're the worst team, everyone says, oh, laughing stocks. You know what? right now, we're the 30th best, the 32nd best defense and the 32nd best offense. And let's, in my opinion, and let's go
Yes.
from there.
Yes.
I don't want these titles. I don't
No,
want
nowhere to go but up from there.
Yeah, I don't want any of this nonsense. Like, I hate when now all of a sudden the rose-colored glasses are coming out.
And to elaborate on what you're saying, I saw that Lawson did not attend the OTAs.
He didn't.
But every day he sent the defensive line coach a workout video.
Yes, I did read that. Now, do we know why he didn't attend?
No. Like I couldn't get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, like I know why Crowder and Marcus May didn't attend, and Coach Salah said they will be there.
Yeah, he expects them there next week. Yeah, absolutely.
So
he actually he said he expects everyone there. Yeah. So
which leads to this question or this thing that I read today. So 4 Jets who could have a bounce back season, and our man at tight end headed the list.
Herndon?
Yeah.
Really?
He could have a bounce back season.
Well, yeah, like I said, in one article I read that he looked good. He looks good, and then in another article I read he had a brutal drop that that it was back to his old ways. So
the thing is, you see, and that's the thing. Like, it's one drop. He's not going to be perfection, but I understand.
Everybody drops past.
Exactly. Unless you're Kyle Pitts, who was perfection in his senior year, which is amazing. But yeah, I agree. I think Hernandez got to get his feet under him. If he's targeted 6 times, reel in 5 of those balls, and things will be forgiven, and you'll be back to get
back close to your rookie season.
Yeah.
When you showed so much promise to everybody,
Yep. Agree.
What else? I saw that we signed the safety.
Yes, I got him on the list. Yes.
Niesman from the Falcons played 5 seasons.
Yeah, I got some numbers on him. I'll touch up on that. I just want to finish this list. About Niesman, he's going to be more of a special teams player. I don't think he's going to come and steal anyone's job.
No.
But again, Kevin, the more the merrier. Fight for the job. Like we said last week, the best 55 and the best 11 practice squad guys, so that, you know what, if we have to bring one of them in, we feel okay with it.
He's 29 years old, so what the hell?
CJ Mosley made the list. Your guy as well.
I love CJ, man.
Yeah.
That's defensive quarterback. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, he's got to be this year. Ryan Griffin made the list, and Michael Pirine made the list.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Now here's a funny story, and here's a name that keeps coming up, and he goes from potential to no potential, potential to no potential, and when you hear it, you'll know who I'm talking about. But these are 4 Jets that are under the radar. Tevon Campbell, okay?
Right.
Cameron Clark.
Yes. Now,
what's up with that? Because it seems like the stories change with him like we change our underwears from day to day. Potential to start, not quite where they thought he would be. Flying under the radar, might lose his job.
I think, like, just with every offseason, they're just throwing shit out there.
Yeah, probably right.
We'll see.
And the last 2 names on the list was John Franklin Myers and Bryce Hall, who everyone seems to be about.
Yes.
Everyone seems to be high on this kid.
I had something written down about him. Bryce Hall. That he looks really good. That everybody's really high on him. Absolutely.
Yep. So now I have to give you a shout out. A big shout out to you. Your research, whatever you're doing, keep doing what you're doing, because you mentioned a name last week on the Jets who is having an outstanding camp. Now, I saw you looking up like you're trying to think who you said. I'm going to get to his name, and when I say it, you could stand up and take a bow, because you deserve it, because you said it here last week. So somebody's listening. And
who the hell did I say?
All right, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to read out the names as I wrote them, and when I get to the name, you'll know. He's the only Jet on the list. So somebody wrote an article about 8 rookies who are lighting it up in the OTAs. And I'm going to give you the list because they're all excellent names, all have potential, except the one name that you called out. And for the life of me, Kevin, I never would have said this name, but I'm getting to it. I'm trying to build,
You're building the suspense.
Yes. So Nico Collins, wide receiver. He's playing with the Texans, round 3, lighting it up. Jelon Davis from Tampa, round 4, lighting it up. This guy not only plays for us, he was undrafted. He's a cornerback.
I know.
Done. Yep. And when I saw that, I said, hell no. I said, Kevin, I said to myself, whatever Kevin is doing or whatever his connections are.
I'm on top of it, man. I'm on top of it.
Exactly. Because Kevin, that name, even when you said it last week, I almost wanted to like pick my jaw and say, really?
Yeah, because I mean, who you got? You got Hall, you got Austin, you got Pinnock. And I mean, Austin is the only vet on the team.
Yeah,
right?
and he's been injured. He's been riding the pine from what I
heard. Yes, and he's not that good anyway.
Yeah, I know, I agree. and this Isaiah Dunn, undrafted. Then you got Justin Fields lighting it up, 1st-round pick. Dalen Hayes from the Ravens, 5th-round pick. DeMordor Lenore, cornerback, 49ers, 5th-round pick. Another undrafted free agent, Damian Stills, defensive tackle, undrafted, the Raiders. And then Nassim Wright, cornerback, Cowboys, 3rd round. These are 8 names who are lighting it up in OTAs.
Yep.
And
gotta love it.
For us, with all these cornerbacks, like Isaiah Dunn, he can't come, like he's not coming to him, oh, I'm undrafted. He knows these jobs are open because the guys ahead of him only have a year experience.
Yes. And like I said, none of them are that good.
No, exactly. Bryce Hall might be the best,
Yes,
and Ashley Davis still has a lot to prove. Like everyone talks about this kid, and I haven't heard diddly poo about him this OTAs, this training camp. Now it's young yet. We'll see what happens next week when things really pick up a little more. But that's been quiet on the Ashton Davis front.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking back. I had done as number 3 in the top 5 of our players whose stock is rising in the OTAs.
I mean, the fact that you threw that name out, like if you said to me, gee, name me 3 guys, his name wouldn't have came up in 30 tries. Props off to that. That was a good thing on your part.
Well, thank you.
Hey. And real quick, did you see the Sherman article this morning where he came on and said he's only going to play for a contender?
Oh, good. Go.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Now, I won't talk much on you. Brought up the Shereen Nassim, the Philadelphia guy, 5 years in the league, only started 2 games, but he's a possible special teamer. So, again, you bring in these guys to fight for jobs, competition breeds the best in people. So maybe that's what that is, just to try to.
Competition brings it out, man.
Yep. So
absolutely. What did I see? The Crowder situation.
Okay.
I know he said he expects him to be there next year or next week.
Yep.
I saw that he's owed $11.3 million this year.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the final year of his contract. They're probably going to want him to take a pay cut.
Yeah. Which is what we discussed last week.
And he also said, Saleh this week, that Crowder definitely has a role in the offense. So, my question is, what if he refuses to take the pay cut?
I think
let him go. You let him move on.
I think that's what's going to happen. They'll take the $1 million hit that we discussed last week, and they'll move on. Now, here's what worries me with that as well. We keep hearing the hype of Elijah Moore, and the legend is growing.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I have yet to hear again, but to quote Allen Iverson, Kev, I hate to keep saying this, it's practice.
Yeah, I mean,
they're not being knocked off their socks by their teammate. Yeah, they're getting a hit, but they're not getting pounded. This sometimes it's 7-on-7 drills. That's like us playing in the backyard with our best friends, you know?
Yeah, I mean, how many times you see them all say they can't wait for that first preseason game so
Yeah,
they
to
can
take
hit
a
somebody
real-
besides
exactly.
themselves. You're right.
Exactly. And then another article came out today that he's primed to be special teams punt returner, kick returner.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know, let's get our again, it's the dead season, so we're throwing things on the wall and seeing if they stick. I think that whatever it is, 11.8, 11.3, 10.8, whatever the range is for Crowder for one more year is not a big deal.
No, you got the money.
Yeah. You know,
why not have a savvy vet in there?
Yeah.
I mean, some of these kids, you don't know where you're going to get.
Yeah. Now, if you're telling me you're looking to save this money because there's a big time wide receiver or a big time O-lineman out there that you need to sign because you don't have the cash, fine. But again, don't get rid of a weapon because you want him to take that much of a pay cut. Like, let's not undercut everyone here, you know?
And I mean, how big of a pay cut? I mean, 11.3 million. How big of a cut you want him to take?
They want him to go down to 4 or 5 million. They think his numbers represent that more than, because like we talked about last week, if you just go not on the numbers, but on the salary, I think he's like the 15th highest paid receiver, and the Jets don't feel the numbers represent that. So they want him to go down to 4 or 5 million. They feel, and listen, they know, they do their research. They feel that even at 4 or 5 million, if he doesn't take that, no other team on the outside will. I don't know if that's true because I'm from the school. There's another man's trash is another team's treasure.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. And I mean, do we really want to see him wind up in Foxborough?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or something, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, agree.
We know that Bill loves to do that stuff.
Oh yeah. Why wouldn't you bring
Jack? Come on.
Oh yeah. And you know how Bill works. He'll bring him in, pay him the money, and then after week 2, when they beat us and Crowder catches 10 out of 11 goals, he'll cut him.
Yeah, and after he got all the offensive information and
everything.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yep.
Bill's famous for that. Now, not dealing with our team, but the Kansas City Chiefs. You see Kyle Long suffered a knee injury.
Yes.
And this is why you can never have enough. Exactly.
You can never have enough depth.
Exactly.
Ever.
So why are the Jets sitting on their hands and not paying Moses?
Good question. Yes.
He's out there.
Yes.
He's out there.
I mean, like I said, that was one of my questions here this morning was what's new on the Morgan Moses front?
Yeah.
I mean, when I see things that your projected right guard is Feeney and the right tackle's Fant, where's Moses?
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't like when you see now Kyle Long goes down. Now he's projected to be back for week 1. But I'm like, you know what, guys, before the Chiefs reach out or another team reaches out, pay that. Like, I mean, unless the man wants $50 million a year, which I don't think he does, pay the man.
And I mean, if he's got his choice, where do you think he's going to go?
Well, of course, he's going to go to a team that's on the verge of winning a Super Bowl. This is why I'm saying we might have to up the ante. I'm not saying break the bank, but we might have to up the ante. We don't want Zach Wilson to become what all the other past quarterbacks come. You know, we don't want the Grim Reaper knocking on our door every 2 and 3 years and taking a quarterback because
you ruined them.
Yeah, exactly. Great word, great phrase. Exactly. We ruined.
Yep. Ruined.
Yep. We don't want that. We don't want that. You know? And we signed another defensive back this week, right? Another one, another form of Pat, another form of 49er, Obi Melifuano.
Yeah.
Been in the league a few years, nothing outstanding, more injuries than anything. You know, again, I don't mind. Again, more competition breeds better, you know.
Oh, yeah. Competition breeds success.
Yeah. But when I look at this old line, this team, and I'm only talking offensive line wise, is only 60% better than what the team we had last year at the O-line.
Yeah, the left side.
Yeah. Yeah, until you and listen, the left side, we're holding our breaths because poor Mekhi Becton with this foot, I haven't heard Philly this week on did the foot improve? Is he getting better,
Mims, Davis, and Becton all remain sidelined.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And so we want to get and Mims to me is in the same boat as Becton. 4 games in, 4 games out. So we want to get rid of Crowder, where we don't even know what Mims could become.
You're crazy.
You tell me, Kevin, 10 days ago, you were looking to get rid of Crowder to free up the money because you're going to make a move on Julio Jones.
A bird in the hand, right, is worth 2 in the bush. So.
Yeah. Like you're telling me you want to free up Crowder's money because you're in the Julio Jones sweepstakes. Fine.
That's a different story.
Fine. But you're going to get rid of Crowder when right now on our depth chart, our second best receiver, Mims, doesn't play a full season or hasn't played a full season and is constantly on the sideline.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jones winds up in KC.
Julio Jones, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, no, done deal. He's with Tennessee.
Right. News, yeah. I saw he signed. Yeah.
Because people were saying that, why didn't we get involved? Because it seems like all they did was, like I said, a bag of balls. It wasn't,
I don't get some of the shit we do.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems from regime to regime, it changes, but it doesn't change.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. And listen, far be it for this Mama Luke to sit here and tell
Mama Luke.
Yeah, I had to throw it in. Far be it for me to tell Joe.
Mama Luke.
Yeah, whoa. Hey, Joe D. Far be it for me to tell you how to do your job, but I feel like it's the same mistakes year after year after year. Like if we still have 27 million to play with, and Crowder is already under the contract, let's just keep it and run with it. Let's bring the best Jet team into camp and put the best Jet team on the field.
I mean, is 11.3 million gonna kill your cap? No, of course
not when you still have 27 million to play with.
It'd be different if he was unproven and you didn't know what you were getting for your 11.3 million, but it's like an insurance policy.
Agree, Kevin, because we know how receivers get hurt left and right. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, West Coast offense, you're talking about a lot of 5 wide receivers, 4 and 5 wide receiver sets.
Yep.
Who are you going to put in there?
Yeah.
I want somebody in there that I know can catch the damn ball.
Exactly. And
knows how to twist a defensive back around and gain leverage, I mean, that's what it's all about.
Agree. How nice is it for our rookie like Elijah Moore to go over to a Crowder or a Davis and say, what could I have done on that play? How could I have deked the cornerback? So
when he's going that way, should I be going that way?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How nice would it have been,
And I mean, I keep hearing Elijah Moore, man, most impressive in the OTA'S.
Yeah.
Like out of anybody.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I'm hearing. So what'll happen, Kevin? We'll watch the first game and the team will punt and he'll bobble the punt and the team will recover.
And the team will fall on it. No, better yet, he'll bobble the punt and it'll be rolling towards the end zone and somebody will just pick it up and fall into it.
Yeah. And we'll sit there and say, oh, this was the guy who we crowned. Let's not crown anyone. Let's not get over ourselves. Let's not, Zach Wilson throwing dimes. I don't want to hear it. Let's wait till the season. Let's stop anointing these guys and making them Hall of Famers before we even get on the field to play a game.
I was reading about Wilson. They said Tuesday he killed it.
Yeah.
He killed it on Tuesday. And then Thursday, it killed him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, Kevin. They're just doing their jobs. We know if we had that type of job, we would do the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
But if I was a reporter whether it's for a national paper or the beat writer, I would always put in parentheses practice. Like,
well, yeah, you got to remember that.
Like as a Jet fan, I just don't want my hopes to climb. And I'm sitting there in week 4 going, all right, who's the free agents we could pick up? Who's
I wonder what draft pick we're gonna get.
Exactly. Who's the draft class, And I took a screenshot of it and I was going to send it to you. And then I was like, you know what? I'm even tired of this stuff. Now, I know I said here and I don't want to be too positive, but I also don't want to be too negative. So somebody predicted the AFC 1 through 16. Mm-hmm. Of course, we're the 15th best team. Now, this is just the AFC. This is not incorporating the NFC.
Who was 16?
Houston Texans. So they were the 16th best and we were 15.
Where'd they put Jacksonville?
2 ahead of us. Cincinnati was between us and Jacksonville. Yeah, everyone's hyped on Jacksonville.
It must be because of Tebow.
Yeah, exactly. They're the pretty story now, like we were when we had Tebow. When
terrific.
Yeah, pretty doesn't do it. Pretty doesn't do it. What I do want to talk about is someone who wasn't pretty, but got the job done. One Toon.
One of my faves.
And
one of my favorites.
Again, you touched up on this, and you might bring it up every show, and I just can't remember. But I know you told the story. It might have been last episode with the hit from Greg Lloyd.
Yes.
Concussions and someone's listening to our feeds because this article came out a couple of days after, June 9th. And I had to highlight some things because, I was a young Jet fan at the time, and there wasn't like ESPN where every 2 seconds you knew everything. And we weren't one of the teams that people were talking about anyway. But just a few things, and jump in when you feel. As you know, the Jets as an organization only been to the playoffs 14 times. 60 years old, 14 times.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. And the biggest success probably came through the 81 and 86 season where we made the playoffs 4 out of the 5 years.
Yeah.
And won 3 playoff games and should have won the game we always talked about, the Mud Bowl.
Yes.
Listen,
I can remember sitting watching that game. I was a big Punk head when I was younger. Okay. I had my Devo flower pot, my red flower pot.
Okay.
I filled it with beer, and that's what.
Wow.
And I was sitting there with a straw watching that game.
Okay.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Wow.
And with every interception he threw, I just sunk lower and lower and lower.
And I remember I was at my grandmother's watching that game, and every time I didn't blame Todd, I cursed out Shula.
Yeah. Well, I remember we talked about this. I told you Walt Michaels attacked them in the tunnel.
Yeah, we were the better team. We were the faster team. During that stretch of the mid 80s when we had Freeman McNeil and Ken O'Brien, who, for better or for worse, Ken O'Brien wasn't as bad as, a lot of Jet fans made him out to be.
Like I said, I have a card. I have a Topps card where it has the NFL top passers for that year, and it was O'Brien and Montana.
Yeah. So in those 5 years that this group had some success, we were ranked in the top 10 offense almost every year. Top 10 offense.
Yeah. Hey, man, that O'Brien, Wesley Walker, Toon connection was good, man.
Yeah.
It was good.
Now, do you agree with me? Cullen Winslow, senior, great tight end, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let me read this real quick. In his somewhat shortened career with the Jets, Toon will become one of only 2 players in the NFL history to play less than 110 games and catch over 500 passes, the other being Cullen Winslow Sr. Hall of Fame. Why isn't Toon in the Hall of Fame? Because he played for the Jets?
Yes.
But correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin.
And see, you could say if it was over the last 10 years or something, you could say, well, plus they didn't win anything. And, you
But
know,
what
they
did
were always,
and I don't mean to jump down on
we
you.
were, the 80s, we were competitive.
Exactly.
We were competitive
And this
with
is
Toon.
this is what gets me mad, Kevin. And I don't mean like I'm not coming after you. You're just there and I'm just talking loud. What did the Chargers do that we didn't? Neither team went to a Super Bowl.
Nope.
Both teams lost the AFC championship games.
Yep.
So why is Winslow, and I'm not taking anything at Winslow. This is not a knock on Winslow. Don't get me wrong, people. The man deserves it. Why is Al Toon not in a conversation or not in the Hall of Fame?
Because he played for the Jets.
My God. And I'm coming to a big one, a real big one. And I'm just reading things, you know. So we know he was selected 10th in the draft that year in 1985. Okay. His rookie season, Toon was the second leader in receiver with 46 receptions, 662 yards. Okay. It was in his second year, and I'm reading it straight from the article. In his second year, that Al Toon's career would really take off as he established himself as one of the elite receivers in the NFL. In '86, Toon caught 85 passes for a career best 1,176 yards. He was selected to first of 3 consecutive Pro Bowls and was named AFC Player of the Year.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Toon had his best season in '88 as he led the NFL with 93 receptions overall. Toon will play his entire 8-year career with the Jets and end up catching 517 passes, ranked number 3 on the list. Maybe that's why
you don't see that. You don't see that anymore either. Played his entire NFL career with one team.
Yep. And Don Maynard, who's in the Hall of Fame, 627, and Wayne Corbett was number 2 at 580. Okay. At age 29, Toon suffered at least 9 concussions during his playing days, and in retirement was diagnosed with post-concussion syndrome.
Yeah.
Shows you, like, when you tell that story where he didn't know where his car was.
When we could park there, and he came out after that Greg Lloyd hit.
Yep.
And he couldn't remember where he parked his car.
Yep.
He was a foggy mess.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Now bear with me because this is a little long, but I'm going to read it all because this really puts the nail in the coffin of why, if you play for the Jets and your numbers are outstanding, people don't care. No, even though we're in a big market, people
doesn't matter, man. Doesn't matter.
So there are many who believe that if Al Toon had stayed healthy, he would have been destined for greatness in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Toon's first 5 years in the league compared very favorable to the one of the greatest, Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice.
Yep.
Just going to say Jerry Rice.
Right? Now, doesn't that shock you? Because it shocked the pants off of me, Kev. Shocked the pants off of me.
No, listen, we had season tickets since Shea. Okay. We went from Shea to the Meadowlands. I was at every single game. I watched this man play.
Yeah.
He deserves to be in.
So then this number is not going to shock you because it shocked me. So let me finish this. Rice was drafted in the same year as Toon, and both set the standards for excellence at wide receiver position. And they're comparing it. So they're not saying, after Al Toon retired, what Rice went on to do. They're comparing these 4 years. From 85 to 89, Toon had 355 receptions compared to Rice, who only had 346.
Okay. And well, how ironic that card I just told you about, who was Rice's quarterback? Montana. Who was Toon's quarterback? O'Brien. And they were both listed as the top passers.
Yeah. So. Now, where Toon's injuries killed him, Rice, God bless him, stayed healthy. But you wonder what these careers would have been like flipped if Toon played, Yeah. But when you're talking about Toon having better numbers than the greatest of all times for his first 4 years, how does the Hall of Fame pick who they think deserves it? Who was the friendliest to the reporters? I don't know. Like when you
maybe is it a popularity contest?
Listen, in the end, the numbers don't match up. But for these first 4 years, he's the best receiver in the game.
And I have to say, every week after that, where's my car?
Uh-huh.
Every week we saw him, we said the same thing to him. Hey, Al, avoid Lloyd.
Yeah.
Avoid Lloyd, man. Avoid Lloyd.
So just to wrap this up, in 2011, Al Toon was inducted into the Jets Ring of Honor and was also selected to the Jets all-time 4-decade team. Al Toon was the Jets' leading receiver for 6 consecutive years and never caught less than 57 passes in a season.
He was a
remains a
beast.
fan favorite to this day, and his jersey is always well represented at MetLife.
Toon.
Yeah, and that's what I'm getting to. Fans of that era will always remember the loud chants of Toon. Al Toon stands out as an all-time great Jet and as a guy who played the game with modesty, heart, and passion. Do you know this man, when he caught a touchdown, never spiked the ball, just put it down or hand it to the
Yeah,
ref?
or hand it to the ref.
Exactly.
Well, listen, it was always a thing with me. Nothing pisses me off more than these guys who score a touchdown, okay, and make like they just won the game themselves.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Hand the ball to the ref.
Yep.
Okay. Go back to the sideline. Act like you've been there before.
Yep.
And this is like, I mean, you know, why do you celebrate so much? Because you're never in there?
Yeah, or the first down. You're down by 20 and you do this first down. Yeah, you see what you just said? It's funny. My dad always said to me,
A-holes.
Yeah. My dad always said to me, act like you've been there.
Yes.
That was always his fame. And his second one was, it doesn't matter how big the guy is if he has a glass jaw.
That's right.
Always tell me that. If the guy can't take a punch, doesn't matter if he's 6'4" or 2 feet. If he can't take a punch, you win. If he could take a punch, you're in trouble. You know?
That's right.
So, you know, and I always remember that. I say that to my son too. Like I relate it to when he's up at the bat and he's like, yeah, he's pitching pretty fast. Hey, if he can't get it over the plate, just stand there and let him walk.
Yeah, and let him walk you.
You know, just
Absolutely.
You know. Anyway.
Yeah.
So that was the Al Toon stuff. Now, do you want to save it or do you want to do the depth chart? Should we save it for next week?
Let's save it for next week.
Okay.
And I hear you got an announcement about next week.
Yes. So we're going to have a guest on the show, everybody. A friend of the show, good guy. His name is Craig from the band Fires in the Distance. He is a Patriots fan, so show him love. Yes, I know. Show him love. He's a friend of ours, really good guy. Go check out his band. And he will be on the show next week with us talking Jet and Patriots. So it should be fun. So tune in, everyone.
And listen, you want to be a guest? Hit us up, man. We'd love to have you. Like I said, doesn't matter what team you root for. Get on here. Let's talk some smack.
Yeah. All right, brother. This was good. This
was
really good.
Hell yeah. We're have a lot to talk about next week. I hope with the mandatory camp.
Oh yeah. Yes.
We'll see who shows up and who doesn't.
Yes.
But
and before you end the show, I just want to give some props to you on keeping the channel going. The Instagram channel looks great. If anybody's on Instagram, check it out. The Facebook channel looks great. Check it out. And we're always here on YouTube. Check us out here as well.
Hit us up, comment, subscribe, like it.
Yeah.
The more the merrier.
I just wanted to give a shout out to you.
Let's have a good time.
Yeah. I wanted to give a shout out to you keeping everything up and running. Awesome job.
You got it,
awesome
brother.
Job.
You got it. All right, Jet Nation. We'll see you next weekend. First time with our guests. So I hope you'll tune in. All right. So you have a great one, brother.
You too.
Enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. And all of you do the same. And jet up.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you later.
All right, brother.
See you later, brother.
Yeah.